Alright everybody, welcome back to this Carcass album review series. We continue venturing along. We're, at the tail end of this thing here. This time we've reached, or last time we reached the era after their long hiatus. They came back with that album Surgical Steel and in 2013, and then just 1 year later in 2014 we get us a little EP here. Surgical Remission, Surplus Steel. And yeah, I know the album covers look similar. This one's like brighter, it seems. But I assure you, this is the album. I promise you, I'm not holding up Surgical Steel, right? But yeah, this one, obviously this, with this being an EP, and it's pretty clear this is just leftover stuff that wasn't included on the official album of Surgical Steel. So I mean, hell, even one of these, like I said last time, it's included as a Japanese, bonus track or whatever, or was a bonus track on a lot of theirs, and I guess, or not even a Japanese one. I think it was just a bonus track on physical releases, right? With, of course, that one being Intensive Battery Brooding. Was the bonus track, but I didn't end up talking about that one because, of course, we're going to talk about it on here, and this is kind of the one I counted on and considered to be on. But with that being said, this obviously has the same production lineup and everything. It's just leftover stuff from Surgical Steel. It's very akin to the Beyond Magnetic Metallica EP. For Death Magnetic, that was all just leftover stuff. But I think it's noteworthy enough and significant enough, these songs are, to include, in the rank in this EP. So with that being said, yeah, let's jump right in it. A Wraith in the Apparatus is the first track on here, and holy hell, man, if this ain't freaking make you headbang like no tomorrow, there might be something wrong with you, because this one is something else, man. And it's just got this dark chugginess to it, man, during that chorus, love the riff. This is just such a sick riff off here, man. As we saw with Surgical Steel, they were laying down some badass licks, and it's no different here. This one could very well have been on Surgical Steel, and I think it could have replaced, maybe a song off there, and I would have been okay with it. Even though I loved every song off there, right? I think this one is better than maybe a few off Surgical Steel. And I'd even say the same for Intensive Battery Brooding, which is probably my second favorite off here. Again, this only has 5 tracks, but it's probably my second favorite off here. And this one also could have been just fine on there. Hell, they even thought so enough to include as a bonus track on Surgical Steel. But this one, yeah, this is like one of those just really sick and groovy riff, man. Like, it's got some cool bends and stuff. One of my favorite riffs these guys have ever laid down, and I think that would have been just fine. Also, maybe replacing the song on the album. It's just that damn good. These 2 tracks right off the bat, 2 out of 5 are just 5 out of 5 tracks for me. 5-star ratings for me for these first 2 tracks off here. And that should just tell you right there, okay, this EP is a must listen if you haven't. Then we go with track number 3, and I would say it's my least favorite of like the full tracks, because as we'll see, the final track is kind of like not really a full song, right? Just kind of a closing piece. But track number 3 is Zakrat, or if that's how you say it. And it's a solid one. I do like this one. The chorus is cool and everything. Another cool riff, but this isn't one that I would replace anything off Surgical Steel with. I would keep this one. I think this was perfect. Just fits just fine for the EP. Not that the others don't. I'm just saying they're good enough to be, to maybe have replaced a song or 2 off Surgical Steel. This one, I wouldn't say so. I think even my least favorite song off Surgical Steel is better than Zockrot, or however you say that. Then, oh boy, my favorite off here. This one definitely, I think, should have been on Surgical Steel, and I think could have been like a single off there, big single off there. Livestock Marketplace, brutal, brutal. One of my favorite riffs the guys have ever laid down. The chorus is just, man, just rips you in half, man. I'm telling you, this I love the lyrics in this one. They're just, they're crazy. Life's a celebration at the cattle market. I mean, just crazy. Just crazy lyrics. You could tell they were having a lot of fun with some stuff too. Off Surgical Steel, kind of have some elements like that to it, and this one you could really tell they were having a lot of fun. But I mean, the chorus is just so damn hooky, and it's such a good song that my favorite off here easily. I mean, this track alone is like, hey, this EP is something. It needs to be listened to for just that track alone. If not, even if these other ones weren't as good as they are. But we close it out with, I think, this just really cool way to end it. Since Surgical Steel opened with the song 1985, that kind of intro, kind of riff that just kind of plays for a minute or whatever. This one is 1985 reprise, so it comes back and they close with that same thing that opened Surgical Steel, which just shows you this is like the expansion pack to it. Which I guess even though EP stands for extended play, I mean it's pretty much an expansion pack, right, or an extension to the album, but before it a lot of times, as we've seen with Beyond Magnetic and Death Magnetic, and this right here. So yeah, but this EP is fan-freaking-tastic. If you've not heard this, or maybe blew it off thinking, oh, okay, Surgical Steel is amazing and everything, I'll just stick to that. I'm telling you, I mean, Wraith in the Apparatus, Intensive Battery Brooding, and Livestock Marketplace could easily maybe take off 3 songs off of Surgical Steel, and that would pump that album up even more. That's how good these 3 tracks are. And again, I'm no hating on Surgical Steel, because as you saw in the review, I love it. That's a great album. But I'm just saying, these 3 off here are just so damn good that I think they could maybe replace my 3 least favorite off there, and I think it'd be just fine, and even boost up and make Surgical Steel even better. But that's all right, because we got them right here on this amazing little EP, and it makes this worth some value as far as listening. I mean, it makes this worth the purchase. These 3 amazing tracks, and of course Zockrot is not bad either. And then the cool closer, which really wraps things up. So amazing EP with Surgical Remission, Surplus Steel. Do not sleep on this one if you've if you are following along, going through. I'm telling you, this is one that is definitely worthy of being included in the rankings, and definitely worthy of a listen here. Love this EP. And with that being said, guys, we got another EP, so another one that won't be probably quite as long. This is 2014, I think 2020. So a good 6 years passed by. Then we got a little EP called Despicable. So we got that coming up, and then of course, finally we'll have the full LP, then the ranking of all these guys' records. So stay tuned for all that, guys, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this thing down there. If you guys have heard it before, if you haven't, and give it a listen, what are your thoughts on it? Do you guys think maybe some of these are worthy of replacing a track or 2 off of Surgical Steel? There's some cool stuff to be talked about down here about this thing. But with all that being said, guys, stay tuned next time when we talk about Despicable, the 2020 EP. We got 2 EPs in a row. So stay tuned for that, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks.